Welcome to the second of our winter support podcasts. I'm joined again today by our social inclusion manager, Emma Williamson. And I'm also joined today by Kerry Jewell from Family Action, from Joanne, with Joanne Crowe. I've got marbles in my mouth there. Joanne is the CEO of the Phoenix Enterprise Centre. And we've got Shelley Hewitson from Citizens Advice Copeland. We'll speak to all of those about how the work they're doing in the community and in partnership with Copeland to support the winter programme and to continue to add support to our winter programme. The first podcast, has had well over 2,000 views, and it's encouraging that as a result of the podcast, we've had a number of people reaching out for information and for support, and we hope this will add further to it. I'm just out of the executive meeting this morning. I met with the council executive this morning, where the social inclusion annual report was on the agenda today. As I've said in previous podcasts, social inclusion, supporting the vulnerable and the disadvantaged across this borough has been a priority of Copeland Council for 6 years, and certainly as long as I'm at the helm will remain so. And it was great hearing the report this morning about some of the fantastic work that's going on. That's quite unique to Copeland because, again, as I previously said, we are the only council that I know of in the UK that has its own social inclusion team. Emma, do you want to pick a few highlights out of the report that was gone through at executive this morning?
Yeah, so first, if I can start, Mike, by saying everything that we deliver as a council would not be possible without our third sector partners, our support from other local councils, the community and our funders, and that's really important. And some of the key highlights we discussed without stealing the thunder of our partners on the call. So working with our credit union and our hardship funding, we've been able to support 137 residents with hardship funding. We've also got 65 groups and services registered on our social prescribing directory who are delivering 79 separate groups and activities, which is helping improve the health and well-being and the financial situation of many of our residents. And additionally to that, we've accrued over 4,631 volunteering hours, which has been incredible throughout COVID and beyond. And as social prescribers identified 21 gaps, and 50% of those have been filled. And that's because we've got a great partnership. We're all working with the same agenda. We want to bridge the gap between those that have and those that have not. And we want to ensure that people can be financially resilient and support them to become sustainable.
Excellent. Emma, do you want to introduce our guest this morning and the various topics we're going to cover on this podcast?
Yeah, if I can just go over to Joanne Crowe from Phoenix Enterprise Centre, and if you can just discuss the provision that you provide and what you're looking at doing throughout the winter period.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah. So at Phoenix Enterprise Centre, we've been established here in the heart of Cleatamore and across Copeland for 36 years now. So we really do understand the needs in our community. And right now we're supporting people, especially people who've been affected by the effects of COVID really, and moving into the winter months, we're looking to see what can we do, what is the need going to be, and how can we help people. And I think what's evident is that, I'm going to pinch a quote, we've all braved the same storm, but we've not faced it in the same boat. And, while some have been in a yacht, other people have been in a bit of a canoe. So we're really helping those people who are in the canoes, if you like. But what we've been focusing on this last 12 months and coming up is around the provision of food to people who are in financial distress. We have what we call, it's called the food pantry or the thrift hub. And basically, if you're a Copeland resident, if you are struggling financially, you can access our food pantry. you can have delivered to your door every Tuesday a range of free healthy foodstuffs. It can include meat, fruit, veg, tins. It contains toiletries, baby's milk, baby's nappies. Now, in order to receive that support and that regular food, you have to be in financial distress, and you have to work with ourselves at Phoenix Enterprise Centre or one of our partners, so Citizens Advice Bureau or Whitehaven District Credit Union, and you have to work towards getting yourself into a better financial situation. You know, we have people, for instance, who have maybe become reliant on doorstep lenders, got themselves into a bit of trouble, spending a chunk of their weekly income to doorstep lenders. And if you come to us, there's no wrong door approach. Come to any of us and we'll refer you on to our partners. You can get help with that debt, help with accessing low cost financial products. And while you're working with us towards a better financial situation, we will take away the financial burden of having to provide food for you and your family. And we help people, single people, and we help very large families. And as I say, all we want to do is help people who are in financial distress. Please don't, think that there's any shame. You'll be judged. You will not. Come forward and we will help you. I do have a telephone number, and I'm hoping maybe, Mike, the telephone number can go out with the podcast at the end of the recording, if that's okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jo. Shelley, over to you. What are you providing this winter, and what are some of the issues you're already seeing coming through?
Thanks, Emma. So Citizens Advice Copeland, we're an independent charity based, we've got offices in Whitehaven and Millham, and deliver advice throughout the borough. At the moment, we're seeing a lot of people coming to us with benefit issues. Debt is increasing, and we're seeing a lot of people who are in hardship, and that has been right through the pandemic and through the lockdown. The number of people that have been coming to us from a range of backgrounds, from a range of incomes, who are struggling and are in hardship, so need support with things like essential items like white goods, so they've got nothing to cook on, or they have nothing, their fridge is broken, or they don't have a washing machine. And we've been able to utilise the support from the council and work with Whitehaven, Egremont and District Credit Union on the hardship fund to be able to offer people the opportunity to purchase these items, which are, what everyday items that you need. Like I said, we are seeing a lot of people coming to us who need food vouchers, or who need access to food, and we refer to Joanne and her team on a weekly basis, possibly even a daily basis at the moment, to ensure that those who need it have got that provision. And we're taking off the pressure a little bit by making sure that food's in place. We can provide grants for energy. So we can make sure that they've got heat and lighting, and then it allows them to work with one of the agencies, either on the call, ourselves, or one of our other partners, to deal with the underlying reason of why they're in crisis. And that's what's the most important thing to us. We don't want anybody to be in crisis, especially at Christmas, especially during these winter months when it is getting colder. We've had the furloughs ended. We've had the UC uplift the universal credit uplift has stopped, and we're in an energy crisis where energy prices are at an all-time high. We understand that times are challenging for everybody out there, and what we really want to get out there is so much help available in Copeland. There is so much support that is available, that nobody needs to be in crisis this Christmas. And I would just echo what Joanne says. Contact one of the partners, contact the council. There is no wrong door approach to the work that we're doing. So somebody contacting any one of us will open up a raft of support and help that's available.
Thanks very much, Shelley. And Kerry, Jewell from Family Action, if you can talk about what you are delivering, and also cover some of the key projects that we're working on together throughout the Christmas period?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so Family Action have been running in Copeland since 2020 January, and over that time we've been supporting vulnerable families in Copeland, and again working with partner agencies. So we've been doing a lot of so our contract is early help, and it's about early intervention, getting in there soon to support the families that need it at the right time. And I think it's like what Shelley says, it's making sure that no family goes missed. So they get referred into one agency, but actually there's a lot going on for that family underneath. So it's about making sure that we work together so that the right support is put in place for these families and these children, so that nobody's going missed. I think for us, the big thing we're doing at Christmas this year is working obviously with Sellafield and partner agencies, Emma and myself, and Family Action are leading on the Christmas appeal this year, where agencies and families can refer themselves into us if they're struggling at Christmas, and we will have lots on offer families. So we are doing vouchers, we're doing toys to support families, we will have hampers, and the generosity of everyone out there, Sellafield workers, all agencies that have supported this programme has been fantastic. And I think it is just about making sure that family don't go missed at Christmas. It's the worst time. COVID has had a massive impact on families and children. We've seen the rise in emotional resilience that the children, they're really struggling. Parents are struggling to parent the children. And it's about making sure that we can support the best way possible. So yeah, there's no wrong door. It's about going to that right agency and making sure that we all work together.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies. I think, Shelley, you made a point there. Nobody needs to be in crisis. And, you know, when I do these meetings and the podcast, we did one last week and again today, it's great to see how in Copeland, how joined up the local authority, the Copeland Community Fund, the third sector, and even volunteer groups are. And you know, again, the point is that there's so much help out there. And you know, I'll repeat an appeal I make on every one of these. If you're watching this podcast and you're in need of some of the help, it's been articulated on here today, please get in touch with all the contact details out there. Or more importantly, if you know of people who need the support services who maybe aren't seeing the podcast, make sure they are aware as well. You know, from my point, you know, that to have three guests on here today, you know, fantastic job that you're all doing. You know, it's so important, and the relationship that you've got with the local authority and making sure this is a joined up approach is absolutely fantastic. Is there anybody who wants to add any sort of final comments? Joanne, is there anything you want to sort of finish on today with, any kind of key message?
I think for me, it's just to say that, you know, if you're unemployed, if you're low waged, if you're on benefits, you know, we all know you are living on fixed low incomes, and you don't have those margins of disposable income or the flexibility in your budgets to deal really with things that are happening and are going to, you know, increase, things like the hike in the fuel prices. You know, right now, there's disruption to having items on shelves in the supermarkets, and there's less choice, and the likelihood is prices are really going to rise. And just to reiterate, there is no shame in needing a little bit of help. So, you know, you won't be judged. Come forward, ask for the help. We find on average when people come to us and they start to access the weekly food, they stay with us and receive the food for about 7 weeks and that is enough time for us to work with them, or our partners work with them, to alleviate their financial situation, get them into a better place. And, you know, people will say, they'll ring us up and say, thank you so much, that's been absolutely fantastic, but I'm in a good place now. And so that's what we want to achieve. So please don't think that you can't ring. Please give us a call. Thanks,
Joanne. Kerry, is there anything you'd like to finally add?
I think it's just to make sure that, what Joanne said, really, just make sure all families know that the support they can access. And yes, so they might not know about Family Action, but they might go to Joanne and need further support from us. So I think please just go to any agency out there. All doors are opened. Yeah, or contact it on Facebook. make contact and see what we can do to support.
Excellent. And Shelley?
Yeah, I think just to echo what both Kerry and Joanne have said, really, we know that people across the board have been impacted by a reduction in working hours. If you are struggling, please get in touch. Our focus in the new year is going to be on helping people become more financially resilient. We're going to look at ways in which we can help people to reduce your expenditure, increase your income at all. Our website is being developed with some funding from the Transforming West Cumbria programme. So we've got stacks of information on there. There's tips for Christmas. You know, we've got how to feed a family of 4 Christmas dinner for £10. You know, take a look at our website. We have a free telephone number that you can contact us on now. And we also, you can email us. So please just get in touch. Nobody needs to struggle this year. Copeland has worked amazingly throughout the pandemic. They really have, and you know, I'm really proud to lead this organisation and to work with everybody. It's just been amazing.
Okay, thank you very much, Shelley. Emma, I'm assuming you're going to make sure that alongside this podcast, all the relevant contact information.
Yeah, all the relevant information will be on the link below. But if I can just say one final thought, there's never a wrong time to come forward and ask for help. But the sooner you come for help, the sooner we can provide the holistic support that a lot of the partners have talked about. And there's other types of support with housing and things like that. Reach out. It doesn't matter who you reach out to or when you reach out, but do it, because there is so much support out there. And I can reiterate what Joanne says, there is no judgment. It has been a difficult time for everybody, and we're here to support you.
Emma, I think it's worth pointing out, you know, as always, I think we should give a big shout out to all of our funders, and I think that applies to all of us, you know, each and every organisation that's represented on here. But you know, one of the things that's evident from the annual report that you presented this morning is the coordinated joined up approach in Copeland is allowing a pound to stretch. You know, we're getting real value for money. And, you know, and I guess that's an indirect shout out to other potential funders to get behind the shoulder behind these projects as well.
Absolutely, Mike. We can't do this without funding. The majority of what we provide as a council in social inclusion is discretionary, you know, but what we do with our partners, we really make that money stretch. We're all really passionate, hard working, and what matters first and foremost is the families and residents that we support.
Okay, on a good note to finish on. So Emma, Joanne, Kerry, Shelley, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for all the work that you're all doing in a vital area.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.